Hello everybody, I am so excited for today's video. I have been filming a lot lately, but ultimately just not loving how it's turned out, which has been a real bummer. So hopefully today is a winner. But today we're going to talk about the Nars liquid blushes. Oh my gosh, do I love these. I kind of knew I would like these because the bottle and the formula, the way it felt very similar to their liquid bronzer, which I really enjoy as well. My favorite thing about these is that one of the biggest issues I face with my makeup is my blush just leaving the face of the earth. Like, it's just gone. It's the first thing to leave my face and it's so disappointing. Whereas when you wear one of these, my blush lasts all day. It's honestly amazing. So I have all three shades here. I have Orgasm, I have Torrid, and I have Dolce Vita. And I'm going to show you all three of them applied today, how I like to wear them, how I apply them, all that kind of jazz. I know TikTok has gone crazy over the Orgasm shade, saying that it is a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury Pinkgasm. And I did want to take a second to address this because yes, they might be similar in shade, they're very different in formula. So I love the Charlotte Tilbury ones if I'm going for a natural girl kind of day. But if I'm going full glam, I am likely going to definitely going to lean towards the Nars. But the shades are quite similar. The Pinkgasm by Charlotte Tilbury is a little bit warmer and a lot dewier. So that's the two. That is the Nars on the right there, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury Pinkgasm on the left there. And I'll do some up close swatch of all three shades and that next to each other as well. But I just wanted to address that because while it might be a somewhat dupe in the shade, it's not in the formula in my opinion at all. The Charlotte Tilbury being a lot more dewy and a lot more glowy. And the Nars has glow to it purely because it's got a little bit of a shimmer in the formula, not a glitter, a shimmer. But it's not glowy in formula whatsoever. So I just wanted to address that. But without further ado, let's get into, I'll throw some swatches up quickly here and then we'll get into myself applying them. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so we're going to start off today by shaking these two shades. I have Dolce Vita here on my right, your left, and I have Torrid on my left, your right. So that is how I am going to apply them. So basically I have my makeup done to the point where all the creams are done and my top of my eyeshadow is done, but not the bottom because I wait until I set my under eyes to do the bottom. So that's where we're up to. And I'm going to show you how I use these and show you how they look on my skin today. So taking the shade Dolce Vita, I like to pump them on my hand. So that is about 1.5 pumps. And I have a blush specific beauty blender. I'm just going to dab it around because I don't want too much product in one location on the beauty blender. So I like to apply it in a C shape around my cheekbone, sort of cupping my eye area. And I'm sorry I have the fan on today, guys. I hope that's not too distracting. It is hot in Australia right now. That is Dolce Vita and it's so beautiful. It's so different to the blush Dolce Vita because I actually wanted the matching blush because then I could have layered it over the top, but the blush is a lot shimmery and glittery than these are. So that is Dolce Vita on that side. And let's go ahead and do Torrid on the other side. Do the same thing about pump. Ooh, okay, so the pump for that one came out a little bit differently. So I'm just going to do one pump of Torrid. I'm going to use the other side of my beauty blender so it's not tainted with Dolce Vita. So now I'm going to do the same thing and just smush it around a little bit. And again, I like to look at this pimple here. Oh my god. So same as before, I like to follow sort of a bit of a C shape, cupping, really grabbing onto my cheek. I do like to bring it down. I know people are avoiding this area these days, but I personally think that looks really useful to put it there. So I actually apply a lot of blush. I actually prefer Dolce Vita over Torrid. Torrid's just a little bit brighter and a little bit more artificial looking, whereas Dolce Vita looks a little bit like more like I got sunburnt. So that is what they are looking like at this point. Because I prefer Dolce Vita, I'm just going to grab a hair more of that back on the Beauty Blender and seriously like really blending this out just to put a fraction on my nose. So that is Dolce Vita on my right, your left, and that is Torrid on my left, your right. In real life, they look quite different. On the camera, I'm unsure if they're looking that different, but like I said, Dolce Vita is a more burgundy, natural sunburnt shade, and Torrid is definitely a lot peachier and a little bit more artificial on my skin tone. Keeping in mind, I'm about a MAC NC20 to NC30, depending on time of the year it is. So yeah, I'll go finish my makeup and I'll show you what it looks like at the end of my makeup, because one of the things I love about this product, and I'm sure I've mentioned it in the intro, is that it's so long wearing, but you can also apply powders over the top of them and they still show through by the time you're done with your makeup. So I'm gonna go finish my makeup and I'll be right back. Okay, so that is my makeup finish and I hope you can see it is still showing through beautifully. I love this formula so much for that. However, I do want to show you in reality what I would do is I would actually layer over the top of this. So let's do that. Now I have chosen to use my custom MAC palette, so I'm actually going to have to put the shades up on the screen because I haven't stickered them on the back, which I really need to do. So on the right side where it's Dolce Vita is a more like burgundy shade, so I'm actually going to mix these two with predominantly more in this shade. For the peachier side, which is Torrid, I am actually going to mix these two. All the products that I have layered over the top will be listed down below, but it's mainly the Charlotte Tilbury loose powder. If you were to use a pressed foundation powder, you would imagine to lose a little bit more of your pigment, but I must say, like I've said before, that my favorite thing about this formula is that it still shows through. So this is the finished makeup look. Okay, so let's do Orgasm now. I'm going to do the same as what I did in all my other ones and give it a really good shake up because this formula does separate. And the same with the others. I'm going to squirt it onto my hand, a quite generous pump, and grab my beauty blender and just flick it around my hand as such. Exactly the same as the other two, applying it in a C shape up and around my cheeks. Pretty high application. It does look a bit scary with my concealer, but I can promise you that once I finish my makeup, I diffuse that out. And you can see that is a really pretty colour. I'm going to pump a tiny bit more onto the other hand for this cheek. And as you can see, that is so pretty. I'm going to put a little bit on my nose. And as you can see, that is a very pretty pink blush. Look a little clown-esque in the monitor, so hopefully it's not looking like that in the actual footage. In real life, it's looking good. It does look a little bit strange in contrast to my under eyes, so I'm just going to grab a clean beauty blender and just try to fuse those together. But like I said, once we've powdered, it will look great. Okay, so exactly like the other shades, I like to layer it over the top of it, and I thought it would be a good chance to show you the Nars. It's got a particular name, this one, Orgasm on the Beach palette, which is like a whole bunch of highlights and what I would call a blush topper, which is essentially their highlight formula in a blush shade. So you definitely have to enjoy a glowy blush to enjoy this formula. And I'm going to compare it on one side to the original Nars Orgasm. And I'm going to take the Orgasm shade, which is that one in the middle there, tap it off. In all honesty, I'm actually really enjoying this palette, but I don't think it's worth the money because I literally only use it for the Orgasm shade. So I don't know if a whole palette can be justified if you're only using one shade in it, and I actually don't like the Nars highlight formula as a highlighter. As a blush topper it's pretty good, but as a highlighter it's not great. So that is the Orgasm on the beach on that side. I've cleaned my brush off and I'm going to use the original Orgasm on this side. And to be honest with you, the difference is so subtle. The on the beach palette formula is a little bit thinner, applies a little bit thinner to the skin and looks a little bit more skin-like, a little bit more glowy. But if you already have Orgasm blush, I probably wouldn't go out and rush and buy this whole palette, because like I said, you only, well, I'm currently only using the one shade. I only see myself continuing to use the bottom 3 shades. I've tried to use these two as highlighters, but they're just not great. So I do like having it though, because I do enjoy it more than the original Orgasm formula, but like I said, the difference is so minute, like it's nothing to write home about. Okay, so that is the finished Orgasm blush look. I love the Orgasm shade. I love Orgasm and Dolce Vita the best. I could have gone without Torrid. For some reason it just doesn't look like a very natural blush tone on my skin. So yeah, that is Orgasm with Orgasm powders laid over the top. Okay, so that is Dolce Vita. This is Torrid. And that is Orgasm. And we'll do Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm. So you can see how much warmer and glowier that is. Okay, that's it for me today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, I've had some struggles filming lately, so hopefully this video is a win. I absolutely adore these. Particularly, like I said, I could have gone without Torrid, but Dolce Vita and Orgasm are absolute wins, and I am so happy I found these. Let me know if you end up picking them up, or if you have them and you love them. That would be great, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!